I worked the overnight shift at a 24-hour convenience store right off the highway. You know, the kind of place truckers roll in for late-night coffee, and tired locals show up at 3 in the morning just to grab a pack of cigarettes. Most nights, it's just me, the steady hum of the refrigerators, and the constant buzz of the overhead fluorescent lights. It's a lonely gig, but I had gotten used to it. I'd been working there for about 6 months when this happened. It was a Tuesday night, which meant it was slow, even by our night shift standards. Around 1:15 in the morning, the place was completely deserted. Not a single car in the parking lot. The security cameras showed nothing but empty pavement. And the dark highway beyond, it was the perfect time to get some of the less glamorous tasks done. I locked the side door, a routine I followed every night for safety, and headed into the back room to start counting the cigarette inventory. The back room isn't big at all. It's just a cramped space with a beaten-up metal desk, shelves overflowing with overstocked products, and a single, lonely chair. There are no windows, just for solid walls. The walls are pretty thin, though. You can hear almost everything that happens on the store floor from back there, which is usually comforting. That's why I noticed it immediately. A sound. It wasn't loud. It was just breathing. At first, I dismissed it. It must be my own breathing, I thought. Maybe a little heavy from moving boxers earlier. So I stopped what I was doing, stopped counting the cartons, and I held my own breath. But the sound continued. It was slow, steady, and it felt unnervingly close. I slowly stood up from the chair and strained my ears, trying to pinpoint the source. It definitely wasn't coming from the main store area. The sound was coming from inside the back room with me, from somewhere behind the towering shelves of overstock. My mind immediately started racing, trying to find a logical explanation. It's just the air vent, I told myself. This building is old. It groans and creaks and makes all sorts of strange noises. That explanation almost worked. It almost calmed me down. But then I heard it. A distinct scrape. The sound of a shoe dragging against the rough concrete floor. My entire body froze. All the air left my lungs. My heart started pounding against my ribs like it wanted out. "Hello," I called out, my voice cracking and barely above a whisper. The silence that followed was deafening. Nothing. No response. That was all I needed. I didn't wait for a second sound. I grabbed the door handle, flung the door open, and practically stumbled back out onto the brightly lit stored floor. The front of the store looked exactly as I'd left it. The lights were on, casting long shadows down the empty aisles. Everything was neat and in its place, but that feeling didn't leave me. You know, that pressure that builds in your chest, that primal instinct that screams at you that something is seriously wrong? It was suffocating me. I rushed behind the counter, my eyes darting around the store, half expecting someone to jump out from behind a snack display. My first thought was the cameras. I had to check the cameras. I pulled up the monitor, my fingers fumbling with the mouse. I clicked through each feed, one by one. The front door camera, the parking lot, aisle 1, aisle 2. Every single feed looked normal. Everything was still and empty. Except for one. The camera pointed at the back room. The view was slightly obstructed by the tall shelves, but it showed a figure, or at least part of one. It was standing just out of the frame, tucked away in the corner where the camera couldn't fully see. All that was visible was a slice of a person's arm. As I stared at the screen, my blood running cold, that arm moved. Just a slight twitch, but it was enough. Panic took over completely. I ran to the main entrance and fumbled with the lock, making sure the front door was secure. With shaking hands, I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. I could barely get the words out. I whispered to the dispatchee on the other end of the line that there was someone inside the store with me, hiding in the back room. She was calm and professional, telling me to stay on the line and that help was on the way. While I was on the phone, huddled behind the counter, my eyes were glued to the camera monitor. I watched the feed from the back room, my heart hammering. The arm on the screen slowly, deliberately, withdrew from the camera's view until it was gone. Then, the entire feed went completely still again, as if nothing had ever been there. A minute later, a sound from the back of the store made me jump. I heard the handle on the back room door turn. It rattled once, a sharp, metallic sound in the otherwise silent store. Then it stopped. The silence that followed was even more terrifying. Was he trying to get out? Was he coming for me? What felt like an eternity, but it was probably only 5 minutes later, the flashing lights of police cars filled the parking lot. They arrived fast. I unlocked the door, and they swarmed in, guns drawn. They swept the entire store, methodically checking every aisle, every corner. And then they found him, hiding behind a stack of soda crates in the very back of the back room. He wasn't armed. He didn't fight or resist when they found him. "Hey, who's to gave up?" He told the police he'd been hiding back there for over an hour. Just waiting. He never said what he was waiting for. They took him away, and I never saw him again. I didn't work the night shift after that day. I couldn't. Because now I know something I really wish I didn't. Sometimes, the scariest part of working the night shift isn't being alone. It's thinking you are. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have a creepy story of your own, I'd love to read it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing for more. Stay safe out there.